Have you ever felt it? The strange heaviness in Indian homes today. Like something is missing, like something important has slipped away in the middle of the night and nobody noticed. There's a silence spreading across our families, not the peaceful kind, the dangerous kind, the kind of silence that comes right before something collapses. People say India is progressing, but if progress has turned our living homes into waiting rooms, if children whisper their problems to screens instead of parents, if homes feel full yet nobody feels seen, then what sort of progress is this? There was a time when the heart of Indian home was its warmth, the smell of fresh food, the laughter of children running around, a mother calling out their names, a father sitting with them, teaching them right from wrong, grandparents telling stories that built entire moral foundations. But today, walk into most homes around 5 or 6 in the evening, you will understand everything. The TV will be on, the lights will be on, the Wi Fi will be on, but the home is off. Children sit alone at the dining table, scrolling through worlds they don't belong to. Parents return tired, drained, carrying stress instead of stories. Mothers who once held the family together are now told their worth depends on payslip. Fathers who once guided their children now barely have the energy to lift their heads. And we never questioned how this happened. This shift wasn't loud, it didn't break the door. It slipped in quietly through our screens, through our comparisons, through the belief that imitating the West means becoming modern. We copied their clothes, their accents, their food, and eventually we copied their broken families, their emotional distance, their loneliness. Something in us changed slowly, without resistance, until one day the most vulnerable among us, the children, began to show the cracks. I see it every day. Children who look confident outside, but their eyes reveal the truth. They have everything except someone to talk to. 1,000 followers, but not one person who listens. More toys than ever, and yet less childhood than ever. They sit in rooms filled with expensive things, but all they want is human presence, a voice, a hug. Someone who looks at them and says, "You're not alone," but nobody says it. And the most heartbreaking part, they have learned not to expect anyone. Children, children who should be overflowing with life have accepted loneliness as normal. Do you realize how dangerous that is? A society collapses not when wars begin, but when children grow up feeling unseen. We replaced presence with productivity. We replaced love with lifestyle. We replaced values with validation. We replaced family with schedules. And now we wonder why our children feel so empty. This isn't just a shift. This isn't just modern life. This is decay. Slow, silent, spreading through every Indian home. And the worst part, everyone sees it, but nobody says a word. There's a strange kind of suffering happening inside our children today. And the most disturbing part is that they have learned to hide it so well, too well. We think they are fine because they laugh at school. We think they are fine because they post selfies. We think they are fine because they adjust. But children don't adjust. They absorb. They absorb everything, the silence, the tension, the loneliness, the absence. And today's children are absorbing more pain than any generation before them. I look at them in school, I look at their eyes, and behind the jokes, behind the energy, behind the fake confidence, there is something else, a sadness they can't explain, a fear they can't describe, an emptiness they don't know how to fill. You see, a child can handle bad marks, a child can handle discipline, a child can handle mistakes. But what a child cannot handle is emotional abandonment. A child doing homework alone, a child eating in silence, a child waiting near the door for someone to arrive, a child staring at a screen for hours. Parents today are overworked, exhausted, drained, and children have learned not to disturb. A 6-year-old girl once told me, "Sir, I don't tell mummy that I am scared at night. She has too many problems." A boy said, "I don't ask Papa to play anymore. He gets tired." Do you understand what that means? Children have started protecting adults from their emotions. They sit for hours on their phones not because they love screens, but because screens don't get irritated. Screens don't say not now. Screens don't say I am tired. Screens don't break their heart. They live in a house filled with people, yet feel emotionally orphaned. Not because parents don't love them, but because love has stopped getting time. Love has become something we fit into our busy schedule, like a chore. Children used to cry loudly. Today, they cry silently. They used to shout for help. Today, they whisper into pillows. They used to ask questions. Today, they don't ask anything at all. And when a child stops asking, that is the moment they stop believing that anyone will answer. We think we are raising strong children, but what we are actually raising are lonely survivors. Everyone talks about children today, but almost nobody talks about the homes they are growing up in. Homes that look perfect on the outside, but are collapsing quietly from within. There was a time when the center of an Indian home was love, not money, not modernity, not convenience, just love. Simple, warm, stable. A mother's presence was considered sacred, not because she cooked food, but because she cooked belonging. She didn't just make meals, she made memories, safety, values, identity. But slowly, something happened, something subtle, something that no one questioned. Women who chose to care for their families were told they were doing nothing. The profession that built this nation, homemaking, was stripped from its dignity, its respect, its worth. They were told success lies outside, never inside. That nurturing a home is inferior, that cooking is a burden, that raising a child is not real work. And when we insulted homemaking, we destroyed the foundation of Indian families. Because a home without care is just a building. And men were told their only value is money, not their presence, not their guidance, not their time, not their love. We turned parents into machines, mothers into workers, fathers into ATMs, and children into responsibilities that must fit into a 24-hour schedule. Family didn't break in one moment, it broke in small, invisible cracks. I am too tired today. I have work. We will talk later. Eat by yourself. We are running late. Indian values didn't die, they were replaced. Replaced by deadlines, by EMIs, by comparison, by competition, by this belief that the more money a family earns, the more successful it is. We don't eat together, we don't pray together, we don't talk together, we don't feel together. And the saddest truth is this: families today live together, but they live separately. The mother battles guilt, the father battles pressure, the child battles loneliness. But nobody knows because nobody speaks. Do you realize what we have become? A country where money decides respect, where homemaking has no value, where love feels outdated, where families have turned into transactions. We traded the heart of the home for the illusion of a better life. And in this bargain, everybody lost. We talk about children being lonely, but how often do we talk about the parents? Behind every tired mother, behind every stressed father, behind every forced smile, there is a person who was drowning quietly. This generation of adults was never told to achieve was this generation of adults was told to achieve everything: success, money, status, a perfect marriage, perfect children, perfect life. They carry an emotional load that no one sees. They work all day, they work all night, and somewhere in between, they have forgotten how to live. They don't sleep peacefully anymore. They don't eat without guilt. They don't rest without feeling like they are falling behind. And mothers are breaking in ways no one talks about. Running a home used to be respected, now it is dismissed as nothing. So she works twice as hard to prove her worth to a society that stopped valuing her. She carries the guilt of not giving enough time to her kids, the fear of being judged, the pressure to earn, the pressure to be perfect, the pressure to never fail. Fathers, they break too, but they don't have permission to show it. He was raised to be a provider, not a human. He was taught that tears are weakness, but stress is strength. So he suffers in silence. He carries the weight of the world on his shoulders and still feels like he is not doing enough. These adults, they are not bad parents. They are exhausted humans. They suffer at work. They suffer at home. And in the middle, their wounds spill onto their children. Not out of intention, out of exhaustion. And this is how generational trauma is born. Not through violence, not through anger, but through silence, through absence, through emotional starvation. The society we live in today is designed to keep adults too busy to feel, too stressed to love, too tired to care, too overwhelmed to notice. The slow emotional death is happening in their own homes. Everyone is fighting invisible battles. Everyone is pretending to be strong. Everyone is wearing a smile that is slowly killing them from inside. We are not losing families because of bad people. We are losing families because good people are breaking quietly. We created a world where money is more important than moments, where deadlines are more important than dinner time, where exhaustion is normal, where burnout is a lifestyle. And the saddest truth is this: parents aren't abandoning their children, parents are being abandoned by a system that abandoned everything from them and gave back nothing. And now, after everything we have seen, everything we have felt, everything we have ignored for years, I want to tell you something. I am a teacher, but today that word means something completely different to me because I no longer walk into a classroom just to teach chapters or formulas. I walk in knowing that some children did not sleep well last night, that some children have not been hugged in days, that some children are carrying loneliness too heavy for their small shoulders. I walk in knowing that for many of them, I might be the only adult who truly sees them today. And so, I want to make a promise that as long as I am here, no child around me will ever feel invisible. No child will feel unwanted. No child will feel alone. If you are my student, you are not just a roll number. You are not just a name on a register. You are not just a mark sheet. You are a human being, a life, a story, a future, And to every child who feels unheard, I will listen. To every child who feels unseen, I will notice. To every child who feels lost, I will guide. To every child who feels afraid, I will protect. I cannot fix every home. I cannot remove every stress. I cannot heal every wound. But inside my classroom, you will find safety. You will find presence. You will find a grown up who will not walk away from your emotions. The world outside is changing. Families are breaking. Values are fading. People are drowning quietly. But in my space, a child will always have someone to talk to. Someone who won't judge. Someone who won't rush. Someone who won't say later. Someone who cares. If society wants to forget its children, I refuse to be a part of that society. I cannot save the whole world, but I can save the world of the child standing in front of me. And to all the parents listening, your child does not need perfection. They need presence. They don't need luxury. They need love. They don't need world's attention. They need yours. We don't have to become Western. We don't have to lose our values. We don't have to sacrifice family for success. We can bring back what we lost. One child, one home, one moment at a time. I am a teacher, but I am also a guardian, a guide, a parent for those who feel they don't have one. And I promise, in this world that is becoming colder every day, I will choose warmth. I will choose humanity. I will choose the child. Maybe we cannot change the entire country. Maybe we cannot rebuild every broken home. But what we can change is this space, the classroom, this child, this moment. And sometimes saving one child is enough to save the future of a nation. Thank you.